Are we doing the thing?
Sure.
Thing?
We'll do the
Who's
thing.
gonna start?
Bop 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 boom bop 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 bop.
No, I think we have to stop. I'm calling off. This started off wrong. I mean, we've been trying to come up with a little freestyle type thing. Eventually, I thought we'd get better as the weeks progress, and that seemed to be definitely 4 or 5 steps back. And
Well,
we can't let Nikahotep start
We
the round.
didn't. We terrified our guest.
She's like, what did I volunteer
I'm
for?
not a beatboxer.
What everyone else, what you are listening to is you're listening to Your Geek Show. I'm Miss Shannon here today with Jaden Satia, Rob Callahan, and our social media demon, Nikahotep Jones, is with us as well.
Yay.
And we are going to be talking about a number of things this morning, but we will also take a quick moment to introduce our guest, and we will get more involved into your bio in a few minutes. But this morning we are joined by Anahita Ahar. You say it for me, Anahita.
You had it just fine. Anahita Arar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
The
me.
H is silent.
There we go.
I say it wrong, actually.
Do you?
Technically, yeah.
Do you say it wrong intentionally? Like
Yeah.
you decided that this is the way I'm going to pronounce it?
I don't say it Persian at all.
Okay. Quite. Why?
It sounds very crisp.
Okay.
Bothers me.
Okay, so how is it? So what would be the Persian pronunciation?
Anahita.
Okay.
Anahita Ahrar.
Okay. And you choose to pronounce it how?
Anahita Arar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you are, she is a public relations master, belly dance instructor, which I think is fantastic and very fancy, event promoter. And she is, today she's going to join us to be our geek of women's fashion. And so real quick, we'll get back to this again at the end, but they can follow you on Twitter, and that is, you should spell it for them. Why don't you spell it for them?
At Anahita, Anahita Ahrar. So it's first name, last name.
I
Anahita.
totally just followed her.
Nikahotep was on it. Yeah, he was on it. So before we get to our fashion
I was
discussion,
following her before following her was cool.
that's
did.
very
I'm glad
Callahan.
it's a
I
cool
followed her to her house.
He did. It's okay.
Wait,
In a
that's
friendly,
not the
a
one we're
friendly
talking
way.
about?
No, we're not talking
If
about that.
I wasn't bound, I totally would.
Yeah, can we not stalk our guests?
Okay.
Because we would like them to come back again.
Okay.
But he brought a red carpet, so that was okay.
That's fine.
I'm okay with that.
So before we get to our fashion discussion today, we do have some geek stories of the week, and the one I wanted to bring up first is, so I don't know if the fellas saw this, but Nikahotep has been very busy this week, and one of the things that he did is that he started an online petition. And normally, one of the things you should know, Anahita, about Nikahotep is that, honestly, he's an outstanding social media demon, but he is also a menace to society.
Evil.
So normally, whenever he comes up with some sort of idea, I just immediately say no, hell to the no, we're not doing it. And
It's
so
not my fault. Okay, she thinks I'm bad.
I don't think I know. I am quite sure.
I don't think you know either.
I'm quite sure that he is bad. And if I leave him to his own devices, it is always chaos. That's what ensues. So this week, though, he started an online petition, and I actually think that this might be a good idea. So do you want to share your online?
Wait, is this on
petition with everybody?
change.org?
No, it's on
Move on.
MoveOn.org.
This is serious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm okay. So
Tell them why you decided to start the petition.
20th Century Fox, they released the new Fantastic Four trailer for their movie, and it sucks. It sucks so bad.
The trailer sucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm just tired. I'm tired of them ruining comic book movies, and so I started a petition that basically says that I'd like Fox to sell Fantastic Four, X-Men, Deadpool, and everybody else back to Marvel. And so that's and so the hashtag is okay. So Shannon and I are talking about the hashtag. We can't decide if it's
He launched this particular hashtag, and I thought that we should bring it up this morning because I think that, and Anahita, you can weigh in on this. I don't
So
think
it's-
it's the most efficient,
Okay.
clear hashtag.
it's
can
either
help.
So
sell the rights back or free the mutants.
Free the what?
Free the mutants. Free the mutants. Free the mutants. Free the mutants.
I'd probably go with one if I had to pick the two.
really, see, now I would have gone with the second. I thought
I would've
that
gone with Free the Mutants.
I would have gone with Free the Mutants. I thought it was
Could I do
clearer.
two? I could do two. Couldn't I do two?
No, we need one.
Hida knows social media. I'm gonna go with whatever she picks.
Okay, but my whole thing about sell the rights back, it's a little lengthy.
Well,
don't you-
I couldn't understand what he said with the second one, so that just sounded like a bunch of possible profanity. I don't know.
Well, it could be profane. I'm a
go
bad
ahead,
person.
share your petition with everyone.
So you want me to just read it out?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
You really didn't like this trailer, huh?
No, it sucked.
I agreed with him on that.
Well, and the
I was
thing
very
is,
disappointed.
I thought it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, but if you look at all the other stuff that they're releasing, like Psylocke, like they released the new pictures for the new Apocalypse movie.
Olivia
Munn.
Olivia Munn,
Who
who
is it?
I love.
I love Olivia as well.
I love Olivia Munn, and she looks like a cow. and like Apocalypse, they ruined Apocalypse.
Well, you knew they were going to ruin Apocalypse. They
But-
ruined everything in the X-Men.
They have, and so it's like they don't know how to tell a comic book story, and they just need to stop.
And they did kind of make Olivia Munn look like she had a moon pie face.
Yeah,
in this
no,
movie.
I-
I was very disappointed in that because she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
She did
Not
not
very
come off
flattering.
beautiful.
Not at all.
Okay, so here it goes. Here's the premise. The movies 20th Century Fox produces are having a negative impact on the comic book universe. Mutants will eventually become extinct. The true genius of four elements working together to battle an epic evil is failing and will be canceled.
I like that he's gotten so serious now when he had to read his petition.
Future generations will never understand the beauty of breaking the fourth wall. And that is truly okay to have a crush on crush on pretty much anyone with a pulse. Fox has the ability to tell a great spy story, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They are fantastic with chick flicks, Devil Wears Prada. But when it comes to superheroes, they should leave those stories to the professionals. Stan, Jack, and Chris. # sell the rights back.
So I know that if any idea that is conceptualized by Nikahotep, you immediately just want to go, I don't even want to hear more about it. But he's kind of right. I mean, I think that it was a fairly well conceived and well written.
They botched
petition.
Elektra.
Yeah, writer,
Okay,
Mr. Writer over here.
They destroyed Elektra. They destroyed Daredevil. The first 3 X-Men movies were garbage. I mean, when are they? I mean,
the first one was okay.
No, they were. It was not okay. It was garbage.
See, he's very passionate about this, and even like when you read the petition, I thought he did a nice job of balancing out the fact that he is slamming them, but also praising them for what he likes. I thought it was
By
fair
giving
and
them
balanced.
Devils Wear Prada.
Right. The Devil Wears Prada was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie.
It was good.
And Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was a good spy movie. They do okay with some genres, but I mean, there's other things like this. And for example,
He thinks they should just focus on what they're good at and then not try and branch out into things that he is now miserable over.
Right.
And so I agreed with this particular petition that I have already signed, his online petition.
I have 6 signatures.
Yes,
Is there a minimum that you need to actually make this a legit thing?
50.
50.
He need- See, I'm like So we're
Hi, Jayden.
we're waiting to see if we can get him to 50 signatures. And I figure that it can't hurt. It'll be a nice project for him, to keep him from, shredding things around my house.
Do I want a really, really pissed off Nikahotep, or do I want a really, really happy Nikahotep?
Right, and I think he'd be happy with this project. I think it's a good use of his
constructive.
skills.
Did you watch Deadpool trailer?
I did watch the Deadpool trailer, and it wasn't really a trailer; it was leaked footage.
Sure.
So I really wouldn't call it a trailer.
The trailer's not going to come out for another couple weeks. I liked the leaked footage of the trailer. I watched that a
I
lot.
thought Ryan Reynolds did a good job
Yes.
as Deadpool.
Right, but also if you look at
But you mentioned him in the
but if you also look at the other, Marvel was actually a co-producer of Deadpool. So
You're saying that's the only reason it hasn't been poisoned like the rest of
Exactly.
the properties. Oh. See, guys, I mean, what do you think? Come on.
I did my
Compared
research.
to what
I
he
did,
normally
I did,
brings
I did
up.
my research on that one.
Callahan, you have to chime in. You can't just shake your nod your head and discuss. You have to at least
with
tell.
Deadpool,
I can't
so
get
with
a word in on
Deadpool,
this
20th
one.
Century Fox is the main producer. However, Marvel is a co-producer of Deadpool, which is why Deadpool is not completely poisoned. But
Yeah, they co-produced Daredevil too.
I don't think they did, because when I did the research on that one, they didn't have any. They weren't part of that one.
Oh.
I checked on that.
You just want signatures?
Yes.
Yes, and then he'd also like you to help.
Promote it.
Yes,
It doesn't just stop
I
there.
know. So will you
So if I
help him?
don't sign it, I don't have to promote it.
You don't have to promote it. Just sign on the dotted line.
Jeez.
Ignore
Normally,
the fine print.
I paid attention to the fine print this time. You're fine.
You know what? I'll share it on Facebook. People will do
Thank
anything I
you.
put on Facebook.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
I shared a link yesterday about how there are evil spirits in your television trying to take you over, and people are sharing it and talking about it like it's real.
See.
So I'll help you out with
All right,
this.
Callahan's on board.
thank
Come
you,
on,
Rob.
Jayden.
Convince me. I'm kidding. Come on. No.
Thank you.
To the gist of what you're trying to accomplish, I agree. Marvel does a hell of a better job on mutants.
Well, plus the other thing is, Marvel is canceling Fantastic Four. They're also canceling. They're starting to cancel all their Marvel properties. Not all the Marvel, the other X-Men properties. They're adjusting them. Mutants are going away. The writers are not allowed to actually create any more mutants. So I mean, they're having to adjust their writing styles.
See what I'm saying? I mean,
Done.
normally,
I'll sign you.
there we go.
I'll
See,
sign it.
normally I'm like, Nika Hotep, stop and get off the internet. But right now, I'm cool with it. Anahita,
did his homework.
Yes, Anahita, are you are the media, the social media maven in the room right now? Will you help us promote
I'll
our
help.
online?
I'm a
Thank you. All right,
supporter.
there we go. See, look, you're gonna do that now.
I'm just impressed.
I think that we still should discuss. Are there any other suggestions on the hashtag that we should have as the companion to his online petition? Because the free the mutants.
I think the whole
hashtag.
thing's a waste of time, and I'm not going to
That's
help.
not the point. It's, why does it? Lots of things are. You
Can we
never
take a poll?
know.
Let's take a poll.
Let's
What
take a
are
poll.
what are the two hashtags?
Sell the rights back
Okay.
and free the mutants.
Free the mutants.
See, I think free the mutants speaks to geeks a little bit more.
Sure. Okay.
Which is kind of the target
Sure.
of the group, and that's kind of where the movies are really kind of geared towards, if you ask me.
They're totally not.
Well, and if they're not going to make any more mutants, like ever,
ever.
that's kind of sad.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
That makes a little more sense than sell the rights back. That seems very stern and political.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right,
I will,
so we're
I will
gonna change
adjust.
your
I'll
hashtag.
adjust the hashtag.
So feel free to tweet with the hashtag free the mutants.
Free the mutants.
And you can help Nika Hotep with his online petition.
Oh.
That's currently on moveon.org. We'll make sure that we put it on our Facebook fan page at Your Geek Show MN on Facebook.
Interestingly enough, that's also why they didn't make any toys for the last X-Men.
See
movie.
he's I have to
Yeah.
co-sign this particular one because it compared to what he normally does, which is, hey, can we go pillage a village full of hobbits? This is actually pretty well thought out.
See,
and
now
harmless.
that idea. I
that
can
also
get
seems well thought out.
That was actually a great idea. Can we
Now
go
the
back to
boys
that
speak.
one?
Back to pillaging hobbits. You want
Hashtag pillage hobbit.
I'll do that for next week. Okay, great.
All right. So in the meantime, you can follow along with Nika Hotep's online petition to free the mutants, and we will also put it on.
Why are you
we'll
rolling
tweet
your
it.
eyes at me?
I got it. We just ask for a little bit of support, Callahan. That's it. Come on,
I think he gave a little.
a little.
That's Callahan's
I
way.
thought if I gave you guys a little support, you'd shut up about it, but you kept going.
Gosh, no. Gosh, no. I've been listening to this all week. You
They
think
want
that
their
I'm not
cake.
willing to? I'm going to give you the earworms that I have been subjected to. So, because we are a team here, so we will all share in the.
You do
the
take
thing.
it for the team, though. You get to stay with him, live with him.
Yes.
You get to
Lovely.
keep him.
Yes. The other thing that he was very upset about this week is that he was this close to shredding my Entertainment Weekly that came out over the photos that came out with Olivia Munn and the X-Men photos.
Apocalypse is no longer Egyptian in the movies. It's crazy.
Well, of course he's not. Egyptians are white people in every movie.
Sad.
Weren't you paying attention?
But what was the one that just came out last year? The Exodus or something.
The Mummy 8?
Anything? Yes.
No,
So-
it was some stupid Pharaoh era film.
Oh,
and,
Exodus, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was blonde haired and blue eyed.
Right. I
Yeah.
know. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so he was very upset about that whole thing, and so
Completely.
when we moved onto this new topic, I was very pleased. So it's been fine. So all right, now to our to reintroduce the topic that we are going to focus on for the remainder of the show. Our guest geek of the week, Anahita, who I'm just so happy that you're here. So wait, we very pleased that you are going to give us some information on what helped make you a fashion geek, why you're so excited about the fashion world, how it was something that you became passionate about, and then she's also going to give us a few tips on to help you geek on the go is what I asked her to do, just some like quick tips, because Anahita, she is a social media maven, very into fashion, but not like a fashion designer, just knows a lot of people that are very involved with it, and has gotten involved with the scene, helps promote a lot of the fashion events here in the Twin Cities. So is I think that you are a good filter for the people that might be want to be into fashion, but might go, oh, I don't actually sew, or I don't know all of the brand names. How do I get involved and not feel like it's so out of my depth?
Yes.
So what got you started? What was the first thing that you got really excited and said, this is something I'm going to follow?
How much time do we have?
Plenty. We have plenty.
Well, I'm definitely not a fashion expert, but to the extent that I am involved with the community, I'm very impressed. So I like to be an advocate, a sounding board, so to speak. I actually, back in undergrad, I went to the U of M, we won't say how many years ago, but in my undergrad, I started out as interior design, and then I was surrounded by a lot of architecture, graphic design, and fashion designers. And then, it turns out you put in 75 hours for a floor plan and they give you a C minus, so it kind of deflates your ego a little bit. And I was like, this isn't the right kind of industry for me. But it was kind of cool just to see how everybody started from scratch, and then they build up their floor plans or their mannequin patterns or their color palettes. So it was really cool just to see all that.
And you like the creative side of things?
I love it. Yeah, I'm not an engineer, doctor, or lawyer, or that typical Persian type of field. I'm very creative and hands-on with the artistic side of things. So then fast forward to grad school, which I just finished. I defend my thesis in 3 days. Oh my goodness.
Fingers crossed for you. Hope that goes well.
That'll go well. But
Defended against the mutants.
yeah. They're not listening probably, so yeah. Free the mutants. So I just finished my Master's of Professional, Master's in Communication, Strategic Communications. Clearly I can't speak, so I need to go back to the program. But that's where I really dove into the field of strategic communications to kind of figure out what people are doing behind the scenes and how to be, strategic. And working with the industry here with the music scene, the fashion scene, and the film scene, it really opened my eyes to how each industry correlates with one another. So for example, I do PR work for music, fashion, and the film industry, and then all sorts of things on the side. My musicians may need to shoot a music video, so I give them I give their concept and their ideas to a filmmaker and a production company, and then they need talent who then needs a designer and hair and makeup. So it really all intertwines. And then, thankfully, by the grace of God, people kind of like me. I'm kind of likable, apparently. So I get some referrals.
Very, yes.
I try. Try not to keep I keep my opinions off of Facebook most of the time, or delete them right away.
Did you hear that, ma'am? Keep your opinions off of Facebook.
That's what makes me likable.
That is I like it. I like him so far. He's got a good Vogue dance, too. But that's what kind of got me involved, and then my curiosity just sparked from there. I worked the corporate jobs for several years and found myself being bored staring at the wall. So I was like, I need to spin it off and do something a little more creative and then kind of pave the way. And with all the different people that I work with, they all inspire me in their own ways. And then the fashion scene has really, really taken a huge, they've just really exploded in the last 2 to 3 years.
And I think that maybe people, the Twin Cities, that's another aspect of the Twin Cities that people think that we're just a flyover state about. And, and maybe until you started seeing something in some of the reality shows the Project One Ways and the things like that.
Us?
I think up
people.
until probably
Yeah.
2009 or 2010, it was flyover, and then for sure in the last 3 to 4 years, it's a major city stopping point. I mean, we've been rated in Huffington Post, and the Today Show has acknowledged the Twin Cities about one of the best places to live. Cities, I mean, you get the suburbs that get call outs a lot, but that's fine. We're in the Twin Cities. It's
It
totally
all works
cool.
out.
No taxes on clothes.
Thank you. Speaking of fashion, that's important.
Super important.
So you had provided us with a list of some of your female fashion icons. And so we went through a few of them. So who would you like to start with? Like, who was one of your initial inspirations?
Let's start with Miss Herrera.
Okay.
I love Carolina.
Nika Hotep was very excited about this whole week. So tell me more about why you enjoy her.
I honestly, her simplicity. Unless I'm on at like a glamorous red carpet type of event locally, or hopefully one day in LA or something like that, you can see me like today. I'm wearing Gap jeans and a very simple shirt. I'm very simple, and I like that chic, simple style that she has, but with very bold colors. Could be like a sharp red or just the classic black and white. And she actually was I think she originated the classic staple white pencil skirt.
Right.
And I didn't know that, but apparently that was like in my blood when I was in high school. Because I had like 2 or 3 different types of white pencil skirts, and I just thought I would be this businesswoman one day. And then one day when I'm all grown up and I'm like, I'm a businesswoman, and I did not wear white skirts all the time.
You're very brave. I'm much too clumsy to wear
I
any of
get
those
chocolate
things.
and stuff all over it.
And you're like, I'm still going to rock it.
But Shout wipes her for.
Got it. Yeah.
But I love the elegance and the class that she brings to the table without it being so extravagant.
Which I think is interesting because in contrast to one of the other icons that you had mentioned, like a Betsy Johnson.
Yeah.
So what appeals to you about Betsy? Because I'm a big fan of Betsy, but I like to dress loud, and so I like that she's out there and loud and
sassy. For one thing, she does cartwheels on the runway. So
Yes.
how could you not go out with a bang like that? So that's pretty cool. Her designs, her embellishments, very whimsical. So I think you probably would just rock the Betsy Johnson.
So fellas, not including Nick Hotep, are you guys familiar with Betsy? Are you guys zoning out already? Got it.
Jake and yeah, they are.
Jayden and Rob are just asleep
Jane's
over there.
texting right now.
We're texting each other. Like, I can't believe she brought up Betsy Johnson. That's ridiculous.
The go-to in any interview.
I am also a
I've
big
heard
fan.
of Betsy.
Okay.
And I know she's loud. I did not know she did cartwheels,
She
Yes.
does cartwheels
which
on
is kind of
stage.
fun.
Betsy, I mean, like here, I brought one of the Betsy Johnson clips because she does have such an, a pervasive, we'll call it, personality. I mean, she is really one of those people that, I mean, she's been designing clothes since before any of us in this room were alive. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
She created designs in the womb. We'll say
Yes,
that.
and she even, like, you guys remember the video Lisa Loeb did for Stay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she
Yeah.
did this dress. She did the dress in there. That was a
Yes.
Betsy Johnson one.
Yes.
And so just Betsy, like I remember, because I like things that look like they're fancy, and I will buy a knockoff. I had a really good Betsy Johnson knockoff. Those are difficult to find. So Betsy's one of my favorites, and so I just kind of like her personality because she is so sparkly. And so here's a good example of like what a Betsy Johnson
Sparkly
sounds like.
is good.
Just happened so naturally, and I went to work making what I wanted to wear. And all I wanted to wear was a t-shirt with a little flip on the end called a mini dress. 1964, Twiggy, doo-doo-doo. Just like I look now, a little t-shirt, and I put a little flip. I was just doing everything and anything that I felt, well, that would be fun and that might work. I did my Julie Christie dress of severe collars and cuffs. I mean, it was my best work. It was so primitive.
And that's why I think I like that. And when you listen to a
Yes.
lot of these designers, that something where it's clearly that they're just following their passion and get to be all excited about what they're doing. Because another person you brought up was Donna Karen, and I, until you brought her up, I'm like, oh, that's what that is. So when did you decide that Donna Karen was somebody that you were interested in?
I actually didn't really know Donna Karen was a designer in my younger years until my mom told me. She used to always wear DK perfume. And that's probably why I have such fond memories of Donna Karen, because I was like, oh, my mom smells so good. What is she wearing? Sneak out of my room and into hers and wear it. And I realized how expensive it was and that it was a designer label. But so those memories is kind of what stemmed it. But I just like her. I like her classy yet comfortable concept. I mean, it's cool to get really dolled up to the nines to the point where you can't breathe in your outfit, but she creates very comfortable, casual, chic outfits for the contemporary lady that likes to look a little buttoned up for work, but also kind of have a fun edge to it too. And I think her designs over the years have transformed a lot. So it's been a few years since I wore one, but even some outfits that I wore in the winter time and the fall, her fall trends are really cool. I actually wore more DK in high school than I probably do now.
Okay, what do you wear now?
I wasn't a baller, so don't worry. I kind of try to be now. I wear, like you just said, I wear a lot of staple outfits, or simple outfits with maybe a staple accessory. So maybe if it's a blazer, I'll throw on something that, simple CK. You know what? Going back to the CK world, Calvin Klein always had really key outfits for guys and girls. So if it's like a simple t-shirt, I'll throw a blazer. That's kind of my signature look, is in the fall time I wear a lot of skinny jeans, heels, and a blazer. That's what you'll see me wearing a lot, is the PR lady. Or pencil skirts, so something inspired by, let's say, Herrera, but it's a very local attainable shop like a H&M or Forever 21 even.
So what are some of the fashion things that are coming up here in the Twin Cities soon?
Events or trends?
Both.
Wow.
Let's start with events.
Okay, so the big one that debuted last year is the Minnesota Fashion Awards. So it's a Rumble on the Runway in the Minnesota Fashion Awards that is produced by Vargas Productions, and they throw several different events. The Crystal Ball is the big one they do every year for New Year's. And so Rumble on the Runway and the Fashion Awards started out last year with a Rumble competition, 4 different teams competing, and they had a panel of judges, and they would acknowledge an award at the end. This year they're doing a little bit less competitive, and they're going to just have 4 different segments and then just give critiques.
Did they get rid of the judges?
They don't have. Well, they have 3 instead of the 4.
But Callahan went last year. So what was your
well, there was one judge they really needed to get rid of, and I hope that's the one.
I don't think
the judges were. It was a good show.
Okay.
The judges thought they were judging American Idol, and they were like really mean because they thought that was what they were supposed to do, or they're just actually really mean people. I don't know. I don't know.
They're
any of them.
very nice, but I think the critiques were
a bit aggressive.
They were trying to make the show about them and how clever they were, and since they weren't very clever, it didn't work out for them.
It just seemed hard, mean spirited.
I was tweeting that they needed to go home because they were drunk.
Okay, that may have been the problem as well.
So it'd be like if I was judging a show.
It was a great show, though. It really was, and the fashions that I saw were nice, but I really liked just the way that the designers were forced to like put everything together with a competing theme.
Yeah, so there was a James Bond-esque theme that they had to work with last year. I'm waiting to hear the details of this year, even though I'm supposed to create the press release this week. But last year was
these designers are
Did they have to shoot
slow.
people?
Not. Probably behind the scenes.
There was some
I don't know what
pantomime.
happened.
There was pantomime shooting. I saw some pantomime shooting.
You know, the golden handgun. But it was a James Bond theme, and they can take whatever they want from it, whether if it's the music, the makeup, the fashion, the sex appeal, whatever. And so it was really cool to see the 4 different companies and the businesses. So it was Warpaint International, it was Mink Boutique, it was Showroom, and it was Atmosphere. And they really, really brought it. And then Atmosphere was the winner of last year's
Very cool
event. And then throughout the night, they have awards that they delegate to about 10 different categories. So,
What time of the year?
the last year it was October, but this year is August 21st. So the second annual Fashion Awards is going to be on Friday, August 21st at the Depot. I was going to say Home Depot.
And what sort of awards did they give out last year?
So
There was
they
like a best designer and
Tons. They have 11 or 12 categories. So they have best designer, fashion designer for men, fashion designer for women, male for, photographer, blogger, boutique, male model, female model, and then overall lifetime achievement.
I think Emma Berg walked away with a bunch of awards last year.
She
didn't
did
she?
awesome.
Yeah,
she did
was-
really, really awesome. We had a Fox 9 segment with her, a couple of her designs last year with Tom and Alexis in the morning, and her outfit was just amazing. And she ended up actually putting it on a model, and she wore it the night of the events. And I'm sitting there tweeting live because I did all the PR stuff behind the scenes, and then the night of, I just wear a dress and I show up. My job's fine.
But I think that's also cool that you mentioned that they had like a James Bond thing, because you're saying that sometimes fashion does get sparked from a particular movie or a genre of films or things like that. So can you think of anything that you've seen in a movie or in a TV show and you're like, I want to look like that person, or I'm going to be inspired by that going forward, or I like that outfit?
Yeah, a lot of the time for me, because I'm so busy, it's the makeup and the hair. It's not so much the outfit, because I think the outfits, it depends on the character. I mean, they could be a very simple plain Jane. It depends on the role that they're playing. But if, oh gosh, what is that movie? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I mean, we're going back with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. I like the whole glam aspect of life. I wish my life was just sparkly all the time. It mostly is. Maybe not at 8 in the morning when I wake up. But that was really fun, is that they had really bright colors, and then her hair was just gorgeous. And then, of course, they had the whole icing, which is the theme of the ball that they went to.
See, you have much better taste in where you get your fashion inspired from than I do. I mean, I'm stuck on still like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly. I think that's probably the problem.
Those are classic.
There's nothing wrong with that. For years people said that I was trying to look like Doctor Who.
Yeah, I could see maybe why they'd say that.
Callahan's got
exactly
awesome style.
Yeah.
I will tell you, last year I produced this event, well, for the first time, I shouldn't say every year, but it was last year. It's called Twin Cities Urban Mashup. So I had, it was a music show, so I had 4 bands and 3 solo artists. And he was kind enough to come out and just support and then make a little write-up about it. But he came in with this outfit. And it had the slacks, his tie.
I don't remember what I was
you
wearing.
You looked awesome. I was just like, man, he came and he dressed up really nice in a vest. I just
No
you know,
shirt though.
No.
Well,
No, it was
like
no
I'm rocking
pants.
it. Rocking it.
no, I mean sometimes the shirt is just too much. No, he had a really nice collar button up, obviously underneath, but just for a music event. So Callahan always brings it to the table, and then, of course I saw him at Rumble last year. And was it a velvet? Suede jacket? I can't remember your blazer. Not that I remember everything you wear. That's kind of stalkerish.
No, I wore a proper tuxedo jacket. It had velvet lapels was the
That's
thing.
what it
and then
was.
I had a cravat, and I thought I was going to be the most dressed up guy there. And then some guy showed up with a cape. And just took
Who
all my
doesn't want a
steam.
cape?
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
We won't name drop.
No,
that,
it was
you know.
it was like one of those. It was one of those proper like Edwardian capes where it's like black on the back and then red velvet on the inside.
Did he come up in a carriage? Did a carriage drop him off at the door?
The red carpet stops with the carriage, but yeah, he probably got off and came inside.
Well, where if let's say because there's a couple of we'll consider red carpet events in town, and so I like it when they cheat and they call it like a blue carpet event. And I know I don't have to try that hard, but when there's like if you're going to we'll say like the Ivy Awards or the Fashion Awards, where's a good place to start if I go I don't have anything to wear? Where should I look first?
Well, I'll give the two big ones that I'm a part of. So it's the Aegis Foundation and Twin Cities Film Fest came on last year. Jayton was a huge part of it with the Oscar celebration. It was the 22nd annual, and it's for charity. It's to raise funds for the Aegis Foundation and the Twin Cities Film Fest. And we split the funds that way, and it's fun to just kind of have the whole red carpet experience. You wear your gown and your tux, or your however you are comfortable. Do I give my secret away? I don't have a $400 Bagley, Michigan dress.
give your secrets, please.
So I rented it. I actually rented it.
You can do that.
Yeah. Oh, girl. Guys, actually, there's tons of stuff. So renttherunway.com is my secret's out. That's crazy. So I had this ravishing green sequence dress that I rented for like $95 for 4 days, and they send it to you in this awesome packaging. You get to keep the whole garment bag, and they give you goodies like perfume or cologne and gum and all that stuff. And then you send it back in the mail like 2 days later.
Fancy.
So that's what I wore actually for...
I am so frightened to do that.
No.
I would sweat through that whole
They
dress.
give you
There's no way.
And
I'd
they
be
give
so...
you-
But you don't have to clean
bad
it.
That kind of stuff.
This is true, and they give you 2 sizes to choose from. So if you're feeling a little chubby that day, it's okay. Yeah, because it happens, guys and girls.
Nick a
I'm sure you
Hotep,
can-
they give you 2 sizes.
What are you saying?
Nothing. All right. So,
What about a
So
little
that's
chubby?
one.
what was for breakfast, Fig Newtons again?
Oh my god.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm having
so-
Diet Coke.
Which
No
is
Diet
worse,
Coke.
by the way, than Big Newtons.
I'm gonna go throw up.
Good. We don't want to throw up. So then the other one, obviously, the Fashion Awards, actually the beneficiary for that is the Emily Foundation.
Okay.
So working with a nonprofit organization, I got to interview them this year for a bunch of promo material you guys are going to be seeing soon.
They're awesome.
Yeah, so they're working to fight battling hunger.
Yep.
Not hunger, but eating disorders.
Eating disorders.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
wife teaches yoga there.
Oh, she does? They have a really cool facility. They're really nice, sweet people, too.
They're in St. Paul and then in St. Louis Park.
St. Louis Park. I haven't been to that one.
Oh, we'll have to put all that information out there as well when you guys
Yeah.
are ready for that. So,
Yeah.
all right. So for
How
the
do you get started? Is
Yes.
you could get to go to different sites like renttherunway.com or a lot of my fashionista friends, hair makeup designers. Thankfully, I have a glam squad that I've accumulated. So I have Jonathan Gibson who does my hair for those type of events. And if I don't know where to start, he's like, okay, cool. Well, your hair's feeling this way, so what are you going to do with your makeup? I'm like, I don't know. I have green eyes. Cool. You should wear something that has purple and green. Okay, then I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, so I go to my stylist, Trey Styles, and she kind of fixes me up, and then my girl, Makeup by Nassim.
I'm so glad you said that because that makes me feel better because I finally had to admit that I have no idea what I'm doing. And I have a couple friends that I go, hey, Susan, will you come over and fix me?
Help
She
you.
won't,
Yeah, exactly.
she won't let me touch her face.
No, you are not beating this face. No, I'll
You
go
can-
get a professional kind of thing. There's
You can
no
stick with the
way.
hashtags on the Twitter.
Yes.
That's cool.
But my friend Susan Swanson, who's part of Warpaint,
She's awesome.
so she comes over. I'm like, I have to take photos, or I have a show where they're videotaping it.
Yeah.
Come over and fix me.
Yeah.
So, or at least is that or what if
Where
you
do
just
guys
need,
go?
Yeah, like what if a guy is like he's getting older and he wants to like draw attention away from his wrinkles, maybe try a little guy liner. I'm asking
Like
for a
Jane-
friend, by the
like
way.
Jane.
A guy needs to get pampered, honestly. So I'm a huge fan of Jungle Red Salon, and they have men's and female services. So they'll wax you from head to toe, Callahan, or your friend. They'll help you with facials and, get a massage the day of. This year, I've already smart enough to already book a massage and my hair and makeup appointment from like noon to 5. So I get ready the whole day. But guys need to get pampered too. And when I was working with Rumble last year, I was doing all their, Twitter posts and Facebook posts, and I was doing inspiring things like how to prep, how to get ready the week of. Sometimes it's good it's the whole like red carpet experience. So if people want to go to the 9 with that, they can, eat healthy the week of, take a Epsom salt bath the night before, soak up all that extra sodium that's just kind of making you gain some water weight.
It'll plump out the wrinkles, is what you're saying.
Water,
So that kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. Sleep well. So guys and girls can really benefit from that. But then the boutiques around town. So I'm kind of giving them a plug here, but Atmosphere is a really good thing for guys to go check out. They have a huge line of formal wear and then casual wear, and then of course they have accessories and all that jazz.
So does Salvation Army.
They do. They
But
do.
You just
if
have
you're
to
going to
look
say,
for it.
because so not just only Salvation Army, because and Anahita and I have talked about this before. There's some really good consignment stores in town, like Second Debut, which is Goodwill's high-end boutique. So you can get some really snazzy things there.
And the Salvation
sometimes.
Army that I'm talking about, this is the one in downtown that is specifically like Target stuff.
Off of
That's
Fourth.
brand new.
leftover.
Oh yeah, the
Secret
Salvation Target.
Yeah.
Salvation,
It
yeah,
was
it's
supposed to be
literally-
Target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a hidden secret for so long, but it's really not a secret when the
No, not
secret's
anymore.
out. And then Buffalo Exchange over here on Lindale on 27th or 28th has a lot of stuff too. But Jaden was rocking the white blazer, I think, at the Oscar event, right?
thought
I'm not
the
saying you got
Salvation
that. No,
thing-
He did get it at
No,
I know
I'm
that blazer.
gonna be
You were
very
proud of
honest
that
with you.
blazer.
Like, I
when you got
don't
it.
really spend hundreds. Like, to spend 3 digits on a clothing item for me
Yeah.
is rare.
Yeah,
But I will, in an ensemble, go and get it fitted.
sure.
So I got the blazer was too big for me, but I wanted a white blazer.
And you rocked it. It was great.
And then I went to my neighborhood fix 'em
Tailor.
up
Yeah.
place, and I said, "Hey, fix this for me." And I spent $40 getting that tailored. Cost me $20. I mean, it ended up being like $50-$60, but it was made almost for me at that point,
right.
Which
It's
was great.
not okay to drown in your clothes.
I've done that with shoes. Like I have a pair of shoes that I got on super sale, and then took them to the cobbler person because they had a strap around the ankle that was way too big for me. So I went and I had that altered. And I've heard that advice from other people too, where it's like you can get something on a discount, but it's really a matter of clothes don't always fit us off the rack anyway.
No, they
so
don't.
if you're
want it
gonna
hanging
spend
off of you.
Yeah, if you're going to spend money, go get it fixed.
I did
Yeah.
that once all throughout
Yeah.
the 90s,
Yeah.
and yeah.
But that was cool in the 90s. I just don't have
Zane.
So were
Hashtag Zane.
So were Zubas, though. I rocked those Zubas all the time.
You had Zubas?
Man, of course I did. They were
yeah.
pink, blue, and purple.
Zubas look like tights on.
That was
me.
early
Yeah,
90s.
see?
That was like 90,
Those
91
like
though.
stress pads on
Still
you.
90s.
I'm thinking like,
99.
like 94 up through like 98, 99.
That's when denim on denim was like really
Yeah,
hot,
I did
too.
the denim and then the lots of safety pins in the jacket and the
Oh,
oh
that's,
my god,
that's
that
when
one's
I
sad.
started seeing people wearing power suits, ironically.
Power Rangers.
The power suit is like, it's big and you're drowning in it anyway. And it was like a symbol of like, you're
Yeah.
a successful Wall Street guy in the 80s. And then in the 90s, it was like when the Stray Cats started to like really get their revival, everyone started wearing these big, loose, like zoot suits
Yes.
Yeah.
that were just falling off of them. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting what trends fade and then come back.
Come
Like the
back.
fact that so many of those super bright techno-y 80s bright colors
Yeah, the
are back into
fluorescents
yes.
are huge. I'm actually a little jealous because I can't find a pair of stiletto heels that I saw on Pinterest, and you're supposed to click it and then go get it.
You can borrow
Apparently,
some. You can borrow some of mine.
thank you. Apparently, it's like German, and then it seemed a really sketchy site, so I didn't go any forward with it. But the neon colors are cool, and then denim obviously is huge right now. And I'm like, well, I wish I would have kept half of my stash from 25 years ago.
What colors are in for guys? Because everybody talks about like this is the
gray, black.
right. Well, those are kind
Dark
of my
gray.
staple, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like those are my staple. Like just those shades of just
Yeah.
like dark.
How many shades
the
do you have?
varieties of dark is what
Well,
Jake-
think about
Well, that's
it
where
this
that's where
way.
I feel most comfortable in.
Think about the primary colors. Blue, You can wear all shades of blue. The baby blue is all tweeted navy. Oh, I'm such a sucker for navy blue. Guys and girls can really rock it. Reds, I mean, you got your hoodie right now, and it's a nice softer red, not a big, bold, flashy. I love that, though.
She starts pointing at Nick Hotep like, flashy.
Are you wearing a Phoenix shirt?
I am wearing
I was like, what is he wearing?
Free the Mutants.
Stick with the theme of the day.
Yeah.
And then the greens, obviously, earth tones are cool too. But you want to stay within the season. I mean, if you're wearing something maroon and then gray, unless you really love them. And you know what? I am a huge advocate of wearing whatever the heck you want to wear. But sometimes the seasons can help too. And the kind of annoying thing is that there might be something I'm craving to buy, and then I won't find it because it's not in season.
Yep.
However, back to school officially started like a week or two ago at different stores, so now you're going to find sweaters and cardigans, and I'm sad because I'm still trying to find a bathing suit.
And then bathing suits are all gone already?
Well,
Or
they're
is
all
that
on
what it is?
sale, and the girl problems. The top doesn't fit the bottom, and then,
yes.
it doesn't match, and then there's a hole in one. I'm like, forget this.
Yeah.
They're picked through.
Apparently, I'm
Yes.
not supposed to wear one anyway.
You're like, I'm going someplace fancy.
But guys can honestly. So war paint. Speaking of war paint, I did this fall trend report or fall trend shoot with them. I was their fall trend bride, and it was a really cool concept. But they have a staff of guys and girls, and it's really cool because they always give you ideas. Hey, if you're ever looking to get this type of product, moisturizer is something they always recommend for men and women. A lot of men forget to moisturize. I think it's going to help with the wrinkles. Not that anyone has any in here, but eventually down the road, gravity is going to be against us. But they give you a lot of good tips and tricks, and then they can always be that advocate for if you need something to buy outfit-wise, or what to do with your hair, or what to wear to an event, even if it's casual or if it's dressy. But going back to what I was doing with them is their fall trend shoot that they just released the video for it. I was their bride. I'd never worn a gown before, so obviously I'm not married, and so I went to their collaborative bridal boutique in Wayzata called Posh, and it was amazing. It put this really heavy designer gown on. Can't remember the name
Heavy,
of it.
like weight-wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is heavy. So, I mean, women do a lot of work on their their wedding day with the gown. But it was really cool. So I got to wear that.
Are you supposed to do that? I didn't do that. Jayden, did your wife do that when you got married? Did you have like a super fancy?
Nope.
Yeah, see, neither did I. We're doing this wrong.
I mean, no. The more weddings I've been
Whatever
in.
floats their boat, though. I mean,
It
whatever.
is.
If she wanted to, I think she
Could've.
could have, but she didn't want to.
She was just glad you put on pants, right?
Mine was super
didn't.
heavy.
White blazer.
You just wear yours around the house, though. I've told you to stop that.
I know.
It's
but
the fairy life. I like it.
It's taffeta, and that thing doesn't breathe.
Well, I've heard of like celebrities, bigger ones, giant ones, that have like the staples that they wear all the time. Like you look at Kanye West, white T-shirt and a black pants, or just same. Like it almost becomes a uniform for them.
Yeah.
Every single day, they pretty much wear the same thing.
It's their staple brand, so to speak. You have to stay within their brand.
Right. How far, like, how can a normal person pull that off? Because again, I don't want too many options. So if I were to go out there and purchase a hoodie, I have a self-imposed rule that I'm going to get rid of 2 of the same things in my closet.
Sometimes
So I put
having-
like a lot of thoughts. Like, do I want to spend $30 on this hoodie?
Okay, wait. We should
Very
back up about Jay.
analytical.
He is, because this is the other thing about him. Like, he is so analytical is the perfect way to put it, because he has 2 workout outfits, like 2, and he just he refuses to get any more.
Is that why it smells so funky over there?
He's got 2. He's like, it's either
wash
the
them,
money.
dude.
There's he's just these 2 things.
I
and
love
he's not gonna have any
multiples.
more.
If you talk to some of my basketball player guy friends, they have about 17 pairs of like white sneakers. And that's because they just really like white, and if any one speck of dust gets on there, it's a big deal. So I like to have a couple of different things in the same color, although that was my problem in high school, and then I stuck with that bad habit growing up or continuing through my 20s. Was buying the same thing in different colors. Now, on a workout standpoint, I don't know, I have 18 different pairs of yoga pants, 20-something sports bras, 5 different pairs of shoes just to go work out. So that's different. I think you only have maybe 2, Jayden. But where to start is go to something like an H&M or even Target. Dude, Target is awesome. And find something that's comfortable, first of all.
My mom loves Macy's.
Macy's is
she like
awesome.
She begs me to come every single time she's there. She's there like I want to say every other day. Anyways, she's like, do you need something? Do you need something? Do you want something? Come pick out something. I'm like, Mom, I don't. I'm okay. But
Macy's
Macy's, I heard
rocks.
that's a good spot.
Or
They
is
have
that
a
just
lot
your
of-
mom hinting? Like, no, you need something.
Totally.
You want something. You need something.
She just
I'm
likes
here
to
stop
again for
wearing the
you.
same shirt.
Bye.
No son of mine is going to dress like that.
Once you start getting the yellow armpit stains, then it's maybe time to buy a second or third one. But however, apparently white vinegar is supposed to help get those stains out. And I need to be a little bit better about it because if I have them, I just go buy new stuff.
You're like, I'm not
I
rehabilitating
don't
this.
have time.
What's your favorite retail? Because you were talking about some of the retail.
Yeah,
shops.
so Macy's obviously is really good. I did something a couple of years ago and I closed my credit cards because it's really hard to keep up with them. So going there, they have an amazing section of just clearance stuff, just because you got to be a clearance baby once in a while. Nordstrom Rack is another really good one. And then who doesn't love TJ Maxx or Marshalls? That's designer stuff for very, very inexpensive. And I keep bringing it up, but now Forever 21, Express, and H&M have a men's line. So it's really cool. The thing with some of those stores, Express, yeah, but the other two, you know, it might not fit your right arm, but it fits your left arm. So sometimes the measurements are a little off. But you could just walk sideways. You could just do the
quality
diva
control
walk.
is not the best.
when I was in high school, there was a store called Sylvester's, and it was the same thing. It was like stuff that the big department stores couldn't sell for some reason, and usually it was because it was
The scratch and dent version of clothing is what it is. Okay.
there was a hole in it, or they had put the wrong length arm on one side.
Yeah.
And you really had to spend all day in there trying everything on and like going around and around in the mirror and make sure there was nothing wrong with it.
That's what
before
the
you
big
walked
box
out.
retailers do when some of their vendor selections have a mishap like that. They've already ordered it, but they can't sell it, so they send it off to a secondhand store, potentially the Salvation Army.
That's why you'll
Target
get like,
style.
you know, when you go in there, sometimes there's like 8 of these polos. You're like, what's wrong with these polos?
They're all the
Why
same.
do you have so many
Makes
of
me
these
doubt
polos,
myself.
Ross?
I know. Len Dreskin's got a really good one too. He was a Lifetime Achievement Award for last year's Rumble on the Runway.
If you're a size 0,
You know, your arm might fit into it, but hey, it's okay. They
It'd
have
look good on the
sashes and
hanger.
shawls, but more practical, but even affordable. You'd be surprised. But Brooks Brothers has a really good line of amazing men's attire, and a lot of the time you can get like a buy one get one, or they'll do coupons or stuff like that. But they have so much inspired with a nautical theme, or oh man,
So if I want to be a pirate, I can go get it. There's that.
you know, anchors, blue and white and stripes. I love stripes. I'm a sucker for stripes. I think they're very handsome and they're very appealing on women too. Although I should not wear as many horizontals as I would like. Who cares, right? I don't.
What about online only shops? Because there's plenty of those, right? Where you just
I'm thinking of the ones that like they show you a really young Korean kid in an
Yes.
awesome coat, and he
Yes.
looks like he just stepped out of an anime.
Yes.
yes,
And you can get that jacket for $12.
Zulily.com. I bought
Yes.
stuff from
And
there.
then you keep seeing people
Yes.
posting blog posts. I bought the jacket, and this is how it looks on me. Yeah.
But the thing
Zulily is
is with those things is that, you know, because you can get a bunch of them, but you know, and my younger sister and I, the one that lives in Korea, we go back and forth about this too. Is that one, you have to remember you get a super deal on it, but they have to ship it, and so a lot of times you end up paying the same that you would have if you would have bought it in town, because then the shipping's like
shipping's a
$30,
lot.
and so you might as well just get it in town. But it is when they say one size. It is not American size. Like their idea of one size fit all is not.
Your
We've
average
been at the
European.
buffet.
so 12-year-old
So-
girl size.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always translate when it comes over here, but they have some. You know, they have some really, I think, interesting. Back to, you know, if you're let's say go back to what we said before, the Betsy Johnson style, where you want something that stands out and is a lot more interesting, or some, you know, coat that has like really fancy lapels. Then you see those
Like a
in those
side
bags.
zipper or something,
Yes.
which is
Uh-huh.
just unique.
So speaking of unique things, what do you think? So because Shannon won't give me cable, I am forced to
Stop
look at Facebook all the time, and we get these little ads, and
And he would look at Facebook anyway. Don't
and you
blame it on
get
me.
these ads for like dress pants made out of like workout material, or
dress sweatpants.
yeah, or dress pants made out of mirror ball material, or things like that. What do you think of those different kinds of takes on style?
I am not one to say something is good or bad, so this is kind of a really vague, lame answer. However you're comfortable. However, I don't highly recommend wearing something like that if you were to go public.
If you would like to wear your mirror ball pants around the house,
I'm kidding.
feel free.
It's always
Don't get gas in your mirror ball pants.
event appropriate or atmosphere appropriate. So if you're going into like a corporate formal setting, I would suggest maybe some casual, maybe some slacks perhaps.
So how do you stand out? Let's just say if people are working their corporate day-to-day 9 to 5, pushing numbers, pushing whatever makes them happy, that's what pays the bills, and they're having some sort of a corporate event like a Christmas party or something, and you want to express your style,
Or even a wedding.
and but also not offend anybody or not have that like what the hell, I would never be friends with him ever.
Some of my male fashionista friends are amazing. They actually inspire me because I'm kind of plain Jane sometimes unless I'm trying to really doll up. But the guys inspire me more than I would have expected. A lot of them show their personality through accessories. Now, I'm not saying like headbands and flair like that, but there could be lapel pins perhaps, or even a really awesome tie, or just guys really like to show off their socks. Socks are huge. I'm a sucker for shoes and cologne. So if a guy smells awesome, you have me. I have a boyfriend, but he knows I like cologne. And then
So it's fine if you're just randomly going
sniffing up guys. That's a little creepy. I got
smell
a
delicious.
little bit of a reputation to protect. But
But we're
shoes
warning
are
people
cool
now,
too.
so that's okay. So
Kita
if
is
Anna,
out.
if she comes up and sniffs you, you just smell delicious. Don't take it personally.
Callahan, what do you
compliment.
have as an accessory that you rock every once in a while?
I've got some tie pins, some cravat pins, a couple of pocket watches.
That's
You know,
fancy.
If you're,
You are good
if
with
you're
the
wearing,
ties,
if you're
too.
wearing
You
the
have a nice
right
selection
waistcoat,
of ties.
then you got a pocket watch that goes across the front, and
Yeah.
you can get different styles of chains and stuff. And I got a lot of ties.
Belts are really hot too.
I have one belt.
Good.
I'm like
You have
Jayden.
one.
I'm like Jayden with only having two
workout
things.
outfits?
I only have one belt, and I wear it for like 6 years until it breaks, and then I get a different
That's
one.
a good belt. And you know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes they're quality and they're like $60. That's kind of a lot for me to spend on a
Or you
belt.
can go like Big Bang
Yeah, but if it's
Theory
$10 a
route and
year.
just get a different buckle.
You get the masking
So
tape
yeah,
on the
this
inside, you can't
belt
see
is
it.
like, I think I've had this belt about a year and a half now, and it's doing well. And you got to get the single like one piece leather belt, not like the two layers that are stitched together, because those things fall apart in no time.
He knows his belt top.
Yeah, he's like,
I like it.
He's done a lot of fact checking on the belt thing. That's cool.
What about you, Nika Hotep? What are a couple of your accessories?
Watches and bracelets and Psycho Bunny socks, actually.
Socks.
Oh, that's
See,
fun.
Going back to the socks.
Fun.
I'm a sucker. He's wearing a cap right now, but I'm a sucker for guys that wear hats, but also wear them right. So then, what are the... This is where
Jane,
my
you got
vocabulary
hats. You have
comes
some
out.
good hats.
Fedoras?
Yeah.
and-
Fedoras are awesome. I like when you throw the fedora on, and then the Pharrell Williams style hat. You have to be the right type of person to wear that, or else you just look like you're wearing a butt on
Big
your
Mountie?
head.
You mean like a Mountie hat?
Yeah,
Or it makes me think of Arby's.
He wears a lot of boat caps too, and all these things. I'm like, that's Pharrell though.
or the golfer type hats.
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
are. I love those.
Oh, I got one
so
of
you
those.
don't look like
Yeah.
you either look like a driver or a page boy if you
Hey,
wear
it's
it wrong.
okay, but hats are great. You could be hiding your hair, or you could just be trying to rock that outfit.
What about
So-
you, Jayden? What are your accessories?
No, I was gonna. Hats is one. So fedoras, and then I'm trying to think. Like, I really don't mean different types of shirts. I guess I'm expressing getting my darkness out of my closet and exploring color palettes. So I'm looking to do more with that.
Embrace the darkness.
And for some
Embrace it.
reason, and you guys have noticed this, I don't wear a t-shirt. Even in summer, I always have something else on top of it, even if it's a light something. So whatever that light something is, so for example, I'll wear a V-neck sweater, but it will be like the cashmere, very, very light material. So I'm kind of going towards that as well a little bit. I don't know. I really don't have any.
It's got good taste. Cashmere is amazing. Feels great too. So now I'm not just gonna smell people. Apparently, I'll be touching and rubbing your chest. So
He's
I'm
very
just-
tactile.
I'm
That's
a
fine.
creeper.
My boyfriend's very tough.
Thank goodness that people understand my humor, and I'm very flirtatious, but I'm genuine because I just like to be. I like people to understand that I am interested in who they are without trying to tick off their wife and their girlfriend. So I know I have a boundary, but at the same time, I appreciate good cashmere cologne, and shoes are great. When I see guys wear boat shoes in the summer, I'm like, you got style. Then there's the really, really extravagant guys that
Wait, what's boat shoes?
kind of like loafers, I
Yes.
guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like Sperry's, for example, are really cool. If you ever go to a DSW, Pretty good.
I'm a sucker for. I like shoes. Like
My
I
staple
have
is
a
wingtips.
Yeah.
I stay right there.
I have but you can't wear those all the time.
You have a lot of shoes, Shannon.
I do have a lot.
I mean, seriously, you have
I have a couple
you have
different
a
kinds of wingtips.
ridiculous amount of shoes, Shannon.
You're a wingtip
There's
guy.
almost not enough room for me.
I know. I am a shoe person.
Not like
I'm
Chris
not a
Brown
purse person.
amount of shoes.
Yeah, I have a lot of shoes.
She has more shoes than.
I'm not a Milda Marcus-y about them, Marcos-y, but I have a
Yeah.
lot of shoes. That's my thing.
I
I'm
just
not
donated about 20 pairs.
Yeah, I always, and it's my version of what Jayden said about how he gives away a lot of stuff is that I know I have a lot of shoes and dresses and things like that, but I only have so much room. So if I get anything new, I am constantly cycling through.
Yes.
So if I really want another pair of shoes, then they either have to go to a friend or they get donated. I don't. If I'm not going to actively wear them and they're not in the regular rotation, then they go someplace else.
And
So
then-
I have
that
a massive amount of shoes, yes, but at least now it is a
I
stationary.
do the same thing, too.
I've this is how many I have. This is how many I'm allowed to have. Is what I have now.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
People are going to Comic-Con. People don't want to dress up, but they still enjoy Comic-Con. What do they wear?
So I haven't been to Comic-Con, but if I were to go, I'd probably be into the whole non-dress up. Oh, you know what? No, I'd lie. I like costumes. But if I were going and I'm not dressing
so
up,
dressed up. What do
I
you
really
say?
would.
Yeah, if you had a chance to come up with a costume.
Really?
on
I'm
Anahita.
like seriously busting you out.
So if
But
you're a
nobody would
panelist like a
But if
Rob
I
Callahan or Shannon, they sit on panels.
I
They
mean,
moderate.
it's not a formal event, so you don't even have to wear a tux. Let's say, a nice. I mean, your staple a lot of the time is a nice blazer or some sort of overcoat, and then some jeans, something like that. Maybe casual shoes. If you want to wear tennis shoes, that's cool. Or maybe go into the loafers and the boats. Or what did you say? Wingtips.
Yeah, wingtips.
That's your
Tips are
favorite.
nice.
Doesn't have to be anything. I mean, you could rock a Superman shirt under a blazer. I mean, heck, get a little
That'll get you some color. in
get
your
a
palette.
little
There you go.
Batman
Okay.
shirt or
All
something
right.
Show up
in
at
there.
Comic-Con in a Superman T-shirt. Everyone's going to know
Or
you're a
if you-
fake geek.
No.
We do not
Or you can wear a
support the
Batman
fake
tie.
model.
Probably true.
I just meant Jayden. Like nobody else.
Strictly looked at me. That's all it was.
Out in the real world, I don't believe fake geeks exist. But
You're right,
Jayden,
exactly.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Jayden, we're just getting
Yeah.
everything.
Or a
take it.
watch. The watches are cool. Accessorize. I think accessorize is cool.
Batman watch.
You
For
can
sure.
you can get some really really cool watches in the dealer's room at most cons.
I have a string
Like,
of watches,
yeah.
and I have because I like watches too. I have a bunch of those theme watches that or like steampunk inspired this, and I don't wear any of them. I very rarely wear them. I have like a couple of go-to watches that I wear constantly, but I like them. They're like really cool bracelets now,
Watches
so I
are
can see
fun.
why if I was a guy, I would have a different watch on all.
If
the
I
time.
were a guy, I'd have the most awesome watches ever. Watches are hard for me to wear because I have really, really small wrists.
Right.
But they're fun to accessorize. So half the time I'm just like jingling my hand in the air because I'm like trying to make them fall
I
back
do the
down
same
to
thing.
place.
Mine all you have to adjust them, and I'm a big fan of things that have stopwatches on it because
we
of my
should
other
talk
gig.
pocket watches sometime. I
Pocket
think that
watches
might be
can be the next podcast.
something
Yes.
for you
Next
to
geek show.
explore.
Get geeked on pocket watches.
Would women wear pocket watches? Is that?
I've seen it done.
Yeah.
Have they?
When I was in my androgynous analytics phase, I had some of that stuff. Now it wouldn't work for me. I don't have pockets often, so I don't know.
I've got a bunch of vests I don't wear anymore. You can borrow those.
Thank
and-
you very much. I'll have them
Speaking
brought
of
in.
pockets and steampunk, I just started working with a fashion designer locally. Her name is Samantha Ray, and she's a lot of her designs are inspired by steampunk.
Nice.
And a lot of her staple outfits are dresses and skirts with pockets.
I love it because it's very difficult to do that,
Ladies
and,
love pockets.
and especially to put pockets in them that don't make me look overly hippie.
Yes.
Because that's what ends up it adds in volume that I don't
Yes.
need. I have plenty of hips as it is.
I used to think that, and now I'm like, whatever, I'm going to embrace it. So she just came out with a book. We're doing a book launch party for her in September. We're literally in the beginning of the event phases right now, but it's going to be featuring a plethora of entertainment that night. But her book is about the how-tos all the way to the very final stages of creating a design. She talks about color palettes, different swatches of fabric, sketches of how to draw and put patterns together. And then she has a men's section and a women's section too. Super, super cool. So you talked about steampunk and pockets right there. I was like, ooh, you have to talk
we
to
would
Samantha
all
Ray.
be perfectly happy to model her outfits. I think we will be. We would
And,
be. And can you
yeah,
get us on
I
the
don't-
runway? In
I don't
those?
know who she is, but she sounds like she'd be a great guest for us. so
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
You
what's
should
worth the-
definitely
the book
have her as a
launch.
guest. She was a announcer at the Fashion Awards last year. She was on the panel, the pre-Rumble panel. So she got to pick some finalists, and then this year she's on the behind-the-scenes work too. And the runway show, one segment is using some of her designs.
Oh,
so
we'll definitely have to look her up.
She's been acknowledged by some local press several times.
Well, we are so happy that you are continuing all of your fashion stuff, and you gave us some good tips. We're going to get some color in Jayton's palette, and Rob, you're already fine. We'll leave you alone.
Rob's
It's okay.
great.
Rob's fine.
Rob
You can
rocks
get
a
this,
cane every once
Yeah,
in a while.
Rob is
Yeah,
pretty
Rob's
awesome with
cane.
fashion.
We don't have to, yeah. Your outfits
going,
are
everyone.
fantastic. I think.
This is
Oh
my
my
Rob,
gosh,
you're
this
awesome.
is why we
You're
don't
Rob
give
is
him
so
compliments.
fantastic.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Go, Rob.
Yay,
Rob, you are
Rob.
so
Oh my
perfect.
God.
How did we ever live before we
Oh,
knew
so
Callahan? I just
big.
don't know.
Just got-
It was
oh,
just
Oh,
like,
Okay, that's enough.
Yes.
And breathe.
better. He would have let us keep going. So Anahita, we'll find you where on Twitter?
Anahita Arar, hashtag Media Arar is my other hashtag.
Free the fashion.
Free the fashion.
Free the hand.
What's up with all the free? No, Anahita Arar, ANAHITAAHRAR. Easy to find.
Well, we're going to actually switch it up a little bit next week, going from fashion to football, specifically fantasy football. Our guest next week is going to be Jody Moose Rylander. And Moose is a 16-season veteran of the Minnesota Vixen women's professional football team. She is a fantasy football aficionado, and we are going to talk about that and some of the new Lego video games that are coming out. So Moose will be with us next week. So it's going to be a really good time. And I think we're going to miss you next. Are you?
I'm going to be at Diversicon next weekend. I won't be in.
Yeah.
But I've got a free reading at Dreamhaven Books on Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. If you ever wanted to come out and see Rob Callahan read a book out loud, I'll be doing that. It'll be my last show of 2015.
Perfect. We'll make sure we repost all of that. So, as always, want to thank our other partners. Want to thank, of course, the Twin Cities Film Fest. We know Jayton and them are still working really hard over there. Custom T-Shirt Central and Chris McDuffie Photography. You can always find us online at yourgeekshow.com, on Facebook at Your Geek Show MN, and on Twitter at Your Geek Show. I'm Miss Shannon. Thank you very much, Anahita, for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, and on behalf of Jayton and Rob and Nika Hotep, we will see you next time.
Bye.